As far as I know, Terrell's fine. DeMarcus has got a legit ankle sprain that we'll be dealing with. We'll figure it out here in upcoming days.
What are your options at depth after going?
Well, we're figuring that out. You know, Will might take some work over there for us, help us out a little bit, and the rest of it we'll figure it out. Don't know yet.
What has Will shown you as a defensive lineman?
He's a mobile, active guy. He played tough, real natural. Didn't have any problem jumping right down in there, you know. And with all the stuff that he's given us on offense, that would be a real bonus for us to. You know, we don't have any problem putting him in there. It's hard getting him enough time to prepare for it, but that's the challenge right now.
Is the turnaround that you guys have had the last few weeks as simple as you had a team meeting and you come back from it, or what kind of led to, you know, the way you guys?
Let's call it that way. That's easy. I think the fact that Bobby has returned, you know, has been significant, and also I think Cam really rounding into full health is helping us too, and he feels great. He's playing like crazy, and so I think the camaraderie of those guys all being back in there and feeling right has been resounding. You know, you can really feel it.
I guess the speed and the amount of ground that Bobby can cover, is it more noticeable because he was out for those 4 games now that he's back?
Well, it's interesting, you know, because I don't see it jumping out that much different than what it has been. I don't, you know, I'm kind of accustomed to the way he plays and stuff, so I don't think that. And in contrast, I don't think that showed up. I mean, KJ was playing Mike. You know, KJ's a pretty good player, and he did really well as well. I think it's more the chemistry of the guys playing together and their sense for one another and playing familiar spots and all that kind of stuff has really paid off.
Seems like your pass rush group in the nickel and stuff is getting better. Is that just Jordan Hill kind of stepping up, or is it the whole group?
No, I think it's everybody. I don't think it's even just the 4 guys. I think they're doing a fine job of going for it. And Jordan's been able to really do a nice job to complement. I think the coverage has been consistent. I mean, it really has been solidly consistent for a number of weeks now. And it's been pretty good all year. But I think all of that working together is getting us to the point where we're more effective.
Have you seen Jordan, though, kind of take a step forward this year?
He's more confident, sure. Yeah, and he's healthy too now. You know, he was banged up for a little while in there too. So I think we're very fortunate that we're coming together, rounding into really good health. You know, as we wrap up the season, and that's a significant part when a lot of other guys are, you know, the teams are battling to try and stay healthy. You know, maybe we're going in the right direction right now.
Tackling improved over the last few weeks?
Tackling improves when everybody's playing really fast. You know, it just is better. There's more guys right there. There's more hands on, you know, on the ball carrier, and we've tackled really well, and for some time now. And I think that has always, in the last couple of years, has been a real sign of, you know, our performance and stuff. But it has been really consistent and noticeable, you know. And I think that's all part of the intensity and the pursuit thing that really pays off. And you don't notice a guy missing when the other guy hits. You know, you can't even tell the guy missed a tackle sometimes because the next guy makes the play. All of that fits together.
Now that you've had Travian Robertson for a couple of weeks, what's been your impression on him and how did he fit in?
Plays big. Plays big. He's a big dude, and he's much like Tony and how he played Kevin. They kind of fit in the same role. We haven't had a lot of action from him, but we've had enough to get a feel that he can do that. So we'll play him in that style. And there's really, even though a guy weighs 320 pounds, they can be a different 320 pounds. Brandon Meegan had his own style that we played to, and so we've adjusted to Kevin, and we've adjusted to Trey also.
Next time you're going to practice this week?
He's going for it. He's had some pretty good workouts and all. We don't know what that means until he gets out and starts doing it. But he's gonna take it as far as he can. He's gonna try and see if he can get ready to play this week.
Jeremy Lane didn't play again. Was there setback?
I met with him this morning. He's fine. He's ready to go now. He was ready to play on game day, but yet he had no work during the week and had limited work to speak of. So we just decided to wait one more weekend. So he'll be out there battling, and hopefully he'll be able to make it through and all of that this week, and then we'll see where that all fits together.
With the way Maxwell's played inside, do you necessarily laying right back in there?
We're flexible now. We have flexibility. We can look at matchups and do what we need to do. I thought it was a really good matchup for Maxie with Jordan Matthews this weekend, and he did great. And so we'll just see who we're playing against and what it looks like.
Did you know Byron had that versatility to kind of bounce outside but then go play in the slot?
Yeah, he's worked there before. When he was first coming up through the ranks, he was working as a nickel, so he has background in it. And he always, did okay. So we knew he had that in him, but we hadn't featured him yet. So, but he's done really well. It was really cool to see that happen.
This camaraderie and chemistry, how much is it intrinsic to the guys in the locker room? How much have you had to coach and develop it?
Well, no, it's always the personality of the guys that has to come out. I mean, you can't give them that. That's them. But you can orchestrate some, and give them an opportunity to grow together and put them in the right settings and give them the right challenges and give them an opportunity to kind of, emerge. And that's, we've seen our guys, our guys been together a long time now, even though they're still only 4 years old in the league or whatever. They've still been together a long time and have done a lot of stuff together. So they have, they're coming together and they're learning one another and they're learning what it takes to play at a really high level. And the challenge is anybody can do it sometimes. It's the challenge is can you do it consistently and find a way to always, be on your game. That's the tremendous challenge of the coaching staff and the team leaders and all of that. So we're trying to figure that out and see if we can do it one more time.
At what point in the regime here did you feel they were getting that? Did you saw progress?
Yeah, we saw signs of that at the end of the first year when we saw, I think, in Cam's first year. We thought that we had a group of guys that really we could build around. And we started telling them that. We set our sights on building this team for the future around those guys, and Earl and Russell Cohn and those guys are all part of that. Richard came on, and that group of guys came on, and we just kept building from there. And they've been the core guys of this team.
What have you noticed that Russell Wilson's been able to kind of clean up the last few weeks to kind of come out of that little mid-season slow he was in, so to speak, to kind of get back on top of it?
I think we're just playing better in all areas. He's just one guy. He doesn't do it all. He just does what he's supposed to do, and it's everybody working together. He certainly has a huge hand in it, and we saw things and that we were just trying to clean up. We zeroed in on things that we wanted to do with him and with the receivers, and that. We've been in kind of transition for a while. We had a big change early in the year, and coming out of that, we had to get right again. But I know that he's feeling great about working with Doug and with Jermaine and the fellas, and now he's working Tony into it. We're getting a feel for that. As he's growing with Luke, and you can just see it happening. And I thought the second half of this game was really a terrific football game, illustration of what we can be like. And the protection worked well with what we were doing route-wise, and Russell had a chance to really hold tough in the pocket and see things and get a great look at stuff. He had to run around a lot early, but we cleaned things up during the course of the game, and I thought it was really just looking very efficient, and hopefully we can kind of stay with that.
Have you seen his relationship with the two rookie receivers grow just as they get more time on the field together?
He spent a lot of time with those guys, and on the practice field and around the building here. He saw those guys right from the first couple of days, as we all did. Really natural players and catchers and smart guys and guys that cared a lot and were tuned in and wanted to do the right thing. And he's been singing their praises for a long time. He really has seen the future. He talked about, hey, these are the kinds of guys I get to grow up with. It was exciting to see that. And so Russell really recognized early on those guys were going to be part of it. And they're doing fine. It was a really good job in this game by Paul. I thought he had some really good plays that he had to make, and tough catches and things like that, and the good play he makes to knock the ball away on the deep ball. And we all see that. Russell surely has recognized that, and they're working at it.
Richardson stayed a kickoff returner.
Yeah.
What about the receiver group as a whole? How would you assess the way they played?
I think they're good Seahawks receivers, man. They're our guys. We know how these guys play. We like the way they play. We like the way they come through, the playmaking. It's a very competitive bunch of guys. They block really well. They work it. They work well with Russell to try to get open when he gives them a chance on scrambles and things like that. They have a good sense for one another, and we continue to grow there. They're our guys. We really like the way these guys play.
How's Cooper Elfit doing at this stage?
He's going to go for it this week. We'll see how he does. And again, he's like Max. We'll see if he can, what happens on Wednesday, and then what happens when he comes back on Thursday, and just start gauging from there. Both those guys are really anxious to get back. Coop's probably a little more solidly ahead of Max, I would think. His injury was a little different, so he has a chance, probably the best chance of the two.
What's the plan you kind of had going forward for Chris Matthews? Do you try to work him in any more, or what do you kind of use?
We're going to just continue to grow with him. He did a really good job on special teams. He had 2 tackles and caused some problems. We got in the game a little bit, so we're going to just keep going with him. He seems like one of our guys. We had him in camp through the off season and stuff, and really liked him. And we, got caught in the numbers, and but he's back out there battling now, and his special qualities are coming to the front, and we're going to try to continue to utilize him.
With Doug, some of the punts he let go to some extent was, I think you said last night, some dealing with the wind possibly.
It was a tricky night, yeah, and the ball was flying off. There's a lot of short kicks, a lot of problem kicks, and so He took a conservative route, which I'm totally in favor of. So we handle the ball properly. They're giving us the football. We want to wind up with it, So I'm not looking for any heroic catches or anything there. It was worth about 25, 30 yards in the night. The ball bouncing around, could have done better than that. But I was okay with it under the circumstances. I thought it's a very unusual wind there. It comes through that corner of the stadium, and it comes kind of at an angle across the field, and it changes as you move down the field. I thought he made good decisions based on what was going on.
Oliver had a couple kicks out pretty deep in the end zone. Were those more an issue of him not making the right decision, or were they not blocked?
We missed a couple blocks, and we want the ball. We want to get that ball past the 20-yard line, And so anytime it doesn't happen, we're scrutinizing very, very acutely. And he got a couple free runners going at him, and so we're going to try to do better at that, obviously. And if we can't, we're going to take a knee. We're going to get the ball out of there. We don't want to start the 9-yard line.
Anything else?
Nice to see you, Tony.